What are iPods? iPods are portable media players designed and marketed by Apple. They allow their users to download media such as songs, podcasts, and videos. Before we get into how they could benefit our classrooms, let's take a moment to discuss how and why they were developed. The bulky flash memory-based players of the 90s were no longer convenient. Apple described the MP3 players of the time as big and clunky or small and useless. A need arose for a digital player that was portable and included usable user interfaces. Tony Fadell, a former General Magic and Philips employee, wanted to invent a small, hard, drive-based player that was linked with a content delivery system. Fadell convinced Apple of his idea in 2001. Leading a team of 30 at Apple, Mr. Fadell was given a deadline of 1 year in which to release a successful product. Apple joined with Portal Player and began reassessing their current prototype. Fadell's team realized immediately that problems needed to be addressed. The players did not support playlists of more than 10 songs, did not have equalizers, and had short battery lives. While developing iPods, it was essential to add features that everyone could utilize: students, travelers, teenagers, fitness fanatics, business executives, and yes, even grandmothers and grandfathers. The original iPods were announced on October the 23rd, 2001. They were assembled in China. David Tabor, a marketing consultant, stated, "While everyone else was making an MP3 player that was better, cheaper, and faster, Apple was making electronic jewelry that also played MP3. Never focusing on price, they brought to market more value, more style, and new ways of interacting with digital media." How could iPods be beneficial in the classroom setting? Our students are perhaps more familiar with today's technologies than most adults. Why not teach our students with instruments they find familiar? Making instruction fun and enjoyable for our students is key to their success. iPods are the answer. They can be utilized in so many ways. Podcasts can be created by the teacher, and students could simply download them onto their iPods and review what is being learned in the classroom. Also, flashcards could be created and downloaded for students' use. Students need differentiated instruction. Students themselves are driving innovation. They are willing to experiment, collaborate, and immerse themselves in new ways of communicating, learning, and getting things done. Their boldness and flexibility position them well to discover cutting-edge ways to apply technology creatively to the educational enterprise. Based upon last year's MCT2 test scores on the language arts portion of the test, it is apparent that in order to keep our high-performing school status, we must focus our attention on improving our scores. While our scores depicted that our schools are performing well above the state's average, we must reevaluate what we are doing in the classroom and how we can boost our students' scores. A little above average has never satisfied our district. We should strive to be the very best in the state. iPods and language arts. How can we use iPods in order to raise those MCT2 test scores? iPods are beneficial across the curriculum, posing a particular advantage in language arts. Although iPods are a fairly new innovation, especially in the area of a teaching tool, research supports the idea that iPods can improve English vocabulary, comprehension, and writing skills. It is obvious that the S-curve has not completely reached its highest point. However, it is well on its way. I foresee more increases in sales as Apple continues to improve the iPods that are available on today's market. In our school district, I believe the technology-savvy educators will easily adopt iPods into their classrooms. There are many in our school district that are willing to and are extremely interested in integrating more technology into their classrooms. These will be our adopters. The early adopters of iPods in the classrooms will be influenced by the strategy of compatibility. Compatibility is described as the degree to which an innovation is perceived as consistent with the existing values, past experiences, and needs of potential adopters. Teachers will realize the potential of the effectiveness of iPods in the classroom and, because of its compatibility, will be eager to adopt them into their curriculum. While there will be those that will certainly adopt iPods, there will be those that will be hesitant. Many teachers in our school district are caught in a rut. They feel that the same way in which they have taught for 10, 15, or 20 years is working well for them. However, our MCT2 test scores reveal something different. We cannot rely on what has worked in the past. Our students are completely different than the students of even 5 years ago. As educators, we must continue to differentiate our teaching to best benefit our students. In order to do so, we need to incorporate more technology into our classrooms, making learning fun and exciting, and allowing our students to work with the tool in which they are familiar. How will we motivate the teachers that are hesitant? Easy. The early adopters will begin implementing the iPods and thus encourage the others. Observability will be key in total adoption district-wide. When the teachers begin to see the positive attributes of how iPods are being used in the classrooms, they will quickly change their minds and get with the times. A decentralized approach would work best for our school district in implementing iPods in the classroom. A decentralized approach is basically described as one in which local innovators begin implementing the innovation versus experts in the field, thus creating others to adopt the innovation as well. As iPods are concerned, we as a district need to seek those that are extremely familiar with technology and encourage them to be our early adopters. Such teachers include computer teachers at the high school level, as well as anyone that holds interest in implementing iPods into their classrooms. The roles of our early adopters, also known as change agents, are extremely important. Their first role is to develop a need for change. A change oftentimes helps people become aware of the need to alter their behavior. Secondly, the change agents will establish an information exchange relationship. A change agent has been identified. The next step is to build a positive relationship with others that will inevitably want to adopt iPods. Diagnosing problems would be the next role of our change agents. They will be responsible for analyzing followers' problems. They will next create an intent to change in the client and later translate that intent into action. Lastly, the change agents will stabilize adoption of iPods and prevent discontinuance and achieve a terminal relationship with the followers. While iPods as educational tools have not met critical mass, I believe our goal at this point should certainly be to target those that are highly respected for critical adoption and highly encourage them to begin the adoption process. In which direction will we steer our students? Corinth School District is desperate for two things: improving state language arts test scores and integrating more technology into the curriculum. Are we going to take it upon ourselves to be leaders in this innovation? When students graduate from our school district, they must be ready to embrace today's society. They will not succeed in today's world unless we prepare them for it by incorporating technology into their curriculum. We want our students to be the leaders of tomorrow. Incorporating iPods into the classroom will better prepare our students for life after high school. Our students are depending on us to make a change. Are we going to embrace change for the betterment of our students' lives? You decide.